Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel. Guys, what can I tell you? I can tell you that it's the last time in 2022 where we will see Juventus playing an official game on the field versus Lazio in our home. It's something that I'm repeating since a few days. Why? Because I'm sad. Yeah, we are doing good or we are doing bad if I already know that I will see Juventus in January 2023. That means 6 weeks from now. I start to be really sad. 6 weeks is really long. I don't know if you realize it. It's really long. Because that means that it's like a real stop. You know, end of season and we will wait until the new season to come. Really strange. I never experienced something like that because Qatar, it's the first time that we are playing a World Cup in Qatar where everything is stopping. Yesterday, words of Maurizio Sarri were saying how strange that was and absolutely a really bad decision. Anyway, it is what it is. We have to accept it. So we'll try to focus on the last game. Juve versus Lazio. Crucial, decisive, especially because we already know the scores of Napoli-Udinese and the one that has been played a few hours ago between Atalanta and Inter. We can go over Inter or we can remain behind Inter. Attenzione. Same for Milan, and we will also depend on the results of Roma that is playing as we speak. The squad lists are out and we already have an answer about the two players that were a doubt yesterday. We're speaking about Manuel Locatelli and Juan Panita Cuadrado. So go immediately with the result. You see that the games are at the moment being played between Monza and Salernitana 0-0. Also the same score for Roma and Torino. And then you have Verona that is also playing versus Spezia at the moment. All 0-0. But we have the results of yesterday that are saying that Napoli won 3-2 versus Udinese. Napoli that was winning 3-0. And at a certain moment Udinese started to come back. They were about to do the 3-3. Anyway, Napoli won 41 points in Serie A. Really far from Juve and also from all the other contenders. But the other game that was important today was Atalanta versus Inter. Atalanta not able to win anymore. Atalanta that a few weeks ago people were telling me, Beppe, it will be a run and a beautiful run for the good of Serie A between Atalanta and Napoli. They will go until the match day 38. A mistake that a lot of us are doing a lot of time, judging moments and taking it as a generality. People, they forget that Serie A is not a marathon, or at least it's not a speed 100 meters, but it's a marathon. And you have teams that are going with a turbo power in the beginning. You have teams that are going really slow and they start doing crescendo. Will Juventus be able to be that second example, going crescendo? At the moment, yes, but everything depends on the game of today versus Lazio. Crescendo in terms of result, continuing with the 6th consecutive win in a row, maybe even with a 6th clean sheet in a row, but especially winning, and also going towards another proposition of game that we offered versus Verona the last time, because we repeated so many times, this is not what we are expecting from a team. Locatelli and Juan Cuadrado will be there, and I'm happy about that. Guys, what are the rankings and what can Juventus potentially do today? Not catching up Napoli. This is something that we can potentially speak about in 2023, even if I don't believe it, because I repeat you so many times, the stars are aligned around Napoli about everything. But Lazio winning today, we can go over them, because at the moment we have 28, we could potentially go at 31. Depending on the score of Milan, we can even potentially go over Milan as well. But we can also remain out of the top 5 if we don't win today versus Lazio. So I told you and I repeat you, super important game. Guys, I want to go through a lot of things with you. The squad list, as I already announced you. I don't know if I already told you or not to put a maximum flag, to subscribe to the channel, to prepare yourself for that last game of the season versus Lazio. Anyway, we see that our 3 goalkeepers are there, Szczesny, Pinsoglio and Perin. I expect Szczesny to start again. Bremer, Danilo, Gatti, Bonucci, Rugani are there as defenders, but as Alexandro is not there, De Sciglio is not there, and so on and so on. We are taking again Barbieri that will be there as a right back, maybe potentially entering in the second half, or maybe not. Today I'm not sure if Barbieri, we will see him on the field. Anyway, for the midfield, and there we have the good news, is that Locatelli and Cuadrado, both of them are there. We don't know yet, and that's for me the moment where it's quite difficult to make a lineup. I don't know in what percentage of being today on the field they are. I don't know if they can start the game. I don't know if they can enter the game. I don't know anything. One thing is sure is they are called up, and that gives us a lot of hopes to see them on the field. Hopefully, if they are, it's because they are guaranteed being played, not players that are at half service, because that would be total disaster. Kostic, Miretti, Rabiot, Paredes and Fagioli for the midfields, and then we see our strikers with Chiesa that is there on the bench. Don't expect Chiesa to start. Milik, Di Maria and Sule. Speaking about Di Maria, that's a good question. Di Maria could potentially start, not according to Tuttosport, that is going with that 3-5-1-1. I'm not here to repeat you, it's always the same with Miretti, an added midfielder that can play behind Milik. We know the dangers, Milik being isolated, alone up front, or we can go towards something else, a 3-5-2 again, but with Di Maria, that could potentially play a bit more offensive than Milik in that 3-5-2. We always have the same defense, Danilo, Bonucci and Bremer. Speaking about Di Maria, and that's what I wanted to tell you, well, Di Maria started exceptionally well versus Sassuolo with the opening goal, official goal of Juventus for 22-23. After that, we didn't see Di Maria a lot. Between some injuries, between that red card suspensions, between all the problems and so on, I'm expecting something from Di Maria today. I don't know if he will be able to start or not. Depends a lot about Juan Panita Cuadrado, I believe. I'm not even sure if we will go with a 3-man defense or going towards a 4-man defense. But if Di Maria is playing, I hope we can see a beautiful Di Maria. The same for Chiesa and maybe even the crown for Fabio Miretti that totally deserve it. I was there the last time that he played as a starter versus Lazio. It was the last game of Chiellini and Dybala in our home of last season, and Miretti played a fantastic game. Hopefully he can replicate it today. What are the pages saying inside of Tuttosport about how Lazio is playing? Well, we see that Lazio, they are going full power offensively when they have the ball. In possession, they go with these through balls, with these penetration balls. It's not only the ball that is going towards the box, but a lot of players. Here we see 4 or 5 players from Lazio that going up, all of them. So we'll have to pay attention when we are defending, that we are really fast in going with 5-man defense. But the problem is that we can't stay too much and too long time with these 5 men. Otherwise, the midfield block of Lazio will go super high and then we will never go out of it. And we saw that versus other teams already that were able to press us. Cataldi, that can be super important for Lazio because Milinkovic-Savic is the one that will go offensively. But Cataldi, that comes from the youth academy of Lazio. He's 28 now, but he did everything with Lazio. Maurizio Sarri is really believing in him a lot. And he's one of the brains of that Lazio, even more than Sergei Milinkovic-Savic. He's taking all the pages. Sergei Milinkovic-Savic, it's the box-to-box. Cataldi is a player that is playing there in the midfield, also controlling the tempo of the game. Attenzione to Cataldi. Then we see that when they are playing with 4-man defense, Lazio is not playing on man marking the players, but they are playing at zone. Zone that is actually facilitating a player like Romagnoli that was suffering when he had to man mark the ball. So we have to pay attention to that. Lazio, how to beat them? Well, we don't have to give them the ball too much, because if they start playing with these 1-2s, we can be burnt easily. We have to really pay attention to that. What are the pages saying today? With Gazzetta dello Sport is going with Milan. They want to win today to then think about the Mercato. Adli, that is a flop at the moment for Milan. They want to give him on loan or selling him, and they are thinking about a player like Ziyech, a Ziyech that could come or on loan, or they will buy him from Chelsea, especially because the Ketelare is not working today. These are the Mercato thoughts for Milan after the game of today. Hopefully they cannot win, because if they don't win, if we win, we are second, guys. We are second. Nobody can say anything about it, and maybe they will be a bit scared and not going full power with big Mercato things. Let's see what will happen there. What about Corriere dello Sport? They are speaking about Napoli that won. Congratulations to them. 41 points, really far away from Juve. And then Tuttosport, who was saying Juve per Allegri, non per Sarri. They are speaking about the fact that it's, yes, a Juve for Allegri and not for Sarri, because training Juve or training Lazio is totally different, and he's doing exceptionally well with Lazio, Maurizio Sarri, but he would never have worked with Juventus. These are the words of Di Canio, ex-player of both of the teams. He's saying that Allegri, he woke up, waking up players like Rabiot and Milik. Milik, that is a real example for the players that are thinking already the World Cup. Milik is a player that is not thinking about the World Cup now. He's thinking about Juventus until the end, fino alla fine. And that mentality of Milik, like the words of Di Canio were saying, this is what we want to see all together tonight. Guys, thank you for following. We will see each other, if you want to, pre-game and watch along on the Twitch channel of Juve, and after that here on YouTube for the post-game, hopefully with a smile, hopefully being able to say that we are still in the top 4, 4th, 3rd, 2nd. We will discover it tonight, hopefully not with the bad news. Grazie, support guys, like, subscribe, grazie, forza, Juve.